name's David. I was an atheist for 15 years until just this past week or two. I decided my life isn't going like I feel like it should be going. So I made a new covenant with God, and I've finally been talking to Him again. And since then, so many good things have moved in my life. And one of those is I got this from a friend, not just any friend. This was from my friend Danielle, who originally wanted me to come to church way back when I was a kid. Her and her mom came and they wanted to pick me up and go to church, and I'd always refuse. Wouldn't you know, 20 years later, that I end up possessing the Bible of my friend's mom, who wanted so badly for me to go to church and hear the Word of God. How does that happen? Coincidence? Divine plan? Maybe? So, let's see what kind of Bible story that can apply to myself or you. At random, we'll pick one. Page 969. We're in the book of Daniel. Nebuchadnezzar's gold statue. I know this one. I think this is when the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, he made a gold statue, and he also passed a law that required everyone in Babylon to bow down and worship this gold statue whenever the music was played. So they'd play the music and everyone would have to bow down. And if you did not bow down to this golden statue, you'd be thrown into the furnace. I think it was at Nebuchadnezzar's palace. So they passed a law. They played the music. Everyone in the city of Babylon bowed down to this golden statue except 3 men. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were taken to the king for their refusal to not bow down and worship this golden statue that he had created. And for disobeying the law, they would be sentenced to be cast into the furnace. But the king said, I'll give you one more chance. Bow down and worship this gold statue, and I will spare you from the flames. Among these 3 men, they said, I will not bow down to your gold statue because I believe in my God. And He will protect me from those flames. And even if He doesn't protect me from those flames, I still refuse to bow down to your golden statue. Think about that. How many people have even if faith? I know a lot of people who have only if faith. They go and pray to their God, and they'll follow the church, they'll follow the Word, they'll be all holy. Only if God gives them what they want in their prayers. But some people have even if faith. Even if I don't get through what I'm going through, even if I don't get what I'm praying for, I will still follow you, God. I will still believe in you. I will still go into those fires. Because I believe, they will be saved. So, the king was furious at this. He ordered the furnace lit 7 times hotter than what it normally is. And it was so hot that when the soldiers threw the 3 men in the flames, some of them died from the heat just by going near it. But the 3 men went into the fire and they looked in to see that they did not burn. They weren't burning. They were just standing there. And there was a 4th man in there with them. And the king asked, Nebuchadnezzar asked, who is that man in there? It was Jesus. Jesus was in that fire with them, protecting them. Notice he didn't spare them from the fire. He allowed them to go in there, but he went in there with them. That means God is with you through all of it. No matter what, even if you don't get what you asked for, even if he spares you from something terrible happening, God is still with you. Even if that terrible thing still happens, God is with you, and he will protect you. So, the three men walk out of the fire. Not a hair on their head was burned. Their clothes didn't even smell like smoke. And Nebuchadnezzar, in awe, said, "You don't have to worship this gold statue anymore. And anyone who speaks a word against these three men's God, they will have to go into the furnace now." So just by their act of believing, that kind of faith, that made the king change his ways, made the whole city rewrite their laws. And the moral of that story is God is with you no matter what. You just have to believe that he's going to protect you. Even if you're thrown into the fire. Not only if you're spared from it. Because sometimes God requires a little bit more than the bare minimum. Now, I know this is coming from someone who's very new. I know this is coming from someone who's just restarting their walk with God. But if I can do it, if someone who is so adamant on finding the logic and belief and existing can go back to faith, because there was emptiness in that logic. There was nothing in that logic. There was death in that logic. If someone like me can believe and keep faith, then I know you can do it. Trust God, no matter what. Pray to God. Pray for others. You don't need to just pray for yourself. You don't need to expect anything. And there will be miracles in your life. There will be such good things that come your way. Just by changing your mind state. The whole town worshiped that golden statue because it was the law. Because they were scared of what would happen to them. Because they were told to do it. But whenever you have belief, whenever you have faith, you're going to do things that no one else is going to do. You're going to stick to what is the right thing. Even when everyone's doing what's wrong and they're telling you what they're doing is right. If you know in your heart what you're doing is right and it's good, keep on. Trust. And even if he allows this terrible thing to happen to you, he's still there with you. And because he is unwavering, you must also have unwavering faith. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tried by fire, by many things, simple things, difficult things. But you have to keep your faith in God the entire time. In happiness, in peace, in sadness and depression, in conflict and strife. God walks with you the whole way. Sometimes you're going to get punished, not because you did the wrong thing, but because you did the right thing, and everyone else is doing the